Known him for a long time. I just called him Doug. Now I got to call him Coach. Coach Gottlieb, new Wisconsin Green Bay head basketball coach. Oh, look at you. It looks like it's picture day for you. Congratulations, Doug.
Thanks, Dan.
How long you been working on this?
I didn't. Well, the backstory is that I was a finalist for the job last year, and Sundance Wicks ended up being the choice. He did a great job. He's National Coach of the Year, Rising League Coach of the Year, and he got the Wyoming job. But I didn't really work on it. It was just more the athletic director, Josh Moon, and I, struck up a legit friendship and relationship. And when Sonny left to take the Wyoming job in his home state, he called me and said, "Are you still interested?" And I said, hell yeah. Last year, the timing was a little wonky. My daughters were seniors in high school. So outside of going to take some pictures for my daughter's prom on Saturday back in California, they're out of the house. And so I think the timing is actually a lot better. But the job is maybe a little bit more difficult because now I'm following a guy who did a great job in winning 18 games last season. How much of this is I want to do this? How much of this is I need to do this? Ooh, man, you're good. I copied your interviewing style for a reason, but that was a good one. I don't have that one in the bag. Probably a little bit of both. But honestly, look, there's the ego part to it that I want to prove myself, right? I want to prove that all the talking into a headset, all the talking in the headset, all the AAU or the, adult things that I've done in coaching TBT or coaching overseas, like this is legit. It works in college. But in all honesty, my best friends in the world are my teammates at Notre Dame, my teammates at Oklahoma State. I'm on a group chat with those guys. I will lay down on train tracks for them. We got 20 on one group text and we got 15 on another. And I would do anything for those guys. I told them all, if they want to come up here and get a job, whether it's in the office or out of the office, I'll do it for them. And that's the experience I want for the kids to come here and play for me. They don't have to love me. I like them to respect me, but I want them to love each other and love their school and just have a great experience. Whether you're here for 1 year or 5 years, I don't care. I want it to be the best basketball experience of your life because you work so hard to get to this level. And, you just don't want when you're 35 to sit there and go what was it like to Green Bay? It was okay. No. You ask me about playing Oklahoma State, I'll say it was the best, literally the best 3 years of my existence as a human being. And I want to be their best existence as a human being, but also as a basketball player. I want to get the best out of them by coaching them the way I want to be coached.
I'll go a little deeper. Your dad was a basketball coach. How much of this is about what your dad did?
Look, it's the family business. I don't know if you know this, but my dad's last head coaching job was at our arch rival, UW-Milwaukee. I was born in Wisconsin. I was Whitefish Bay, Columbia Hospital. So yeah, there's a legacy element to it as well. And I'm sure that when I talk to people today, in this moment, I'm thinking, God, he's smiling in heaven right now. So I think there's part of that, but I'm not trying to live the life that my dad would want me to live by no means. He never wanted me to leave ESPN, Dan. He didn't. He thought it was crazy, because he said, ESPN's got, I watch every night. You can't go leave for somewhere else that I don't watch. But you know what? When I went to CBS, he watched and he listened. When I went to Fox, he watched and he listened. And so it's not all about him. I can't live my life that way. But I can tell you that, you get to this age and you just say to yourself, what am I doing here? I'm creeping up on 50 and I love basketball. I love young men. I love working at the idea of working at a university. And I want to build something special. I want to build not a legacy for me, but a legacy for them. I want them to experience what I experienced. And these jobs are hard to get, man. They're really, really hard to get. My brother's been in the business for 28 years. He's really, really good. Really good. He hasn't gotten a head job yet. So I respect how hard it is to get this. I'm going to do everything I can to make it successful. And most importantly, I want these kids to have just the best basketball experience of their life, the best college experience of their life. And I want this community, they'll embrace them and build something really cool where people say like, man, Green Bay, yeah, you got the Packers and then you got the Phoenix and you don't want to go play there. That's a snake pit. You're going to take an L.
He's Doug Gottlieb, the new Wisconsin Green Bay head coach, also going to do his national radio show at Fox Sports. How do you commit to coaching? How do you commit to doing your national radio show? On the same day, same time?
Well, I mean, like, listen, you've done your radio show and you've done TV shows in the same day, right? I mean, you know how hard that was when you did Sports Center and you used to pop from one to the next, go and write your script. And it's challenging.
Yeah, but these are two different disciplines here. You could be coaching in the afternoon and doing your radio show in the afternoon.
No, I'm the head coach. I get to set the schedule.
Okay.
Right? Like, what time's practice? Coach. Yeah, I get to. So as an assistant coach, I think it would be harder. I think it would be more difficult. But you'd have to have a really understanding head coach. But as a head coach, like, you set aside time. And the great thing about our Chancellor Michael Alexander allowing me to do both is that it allows me to take less money financially and not take a huge hit and then hire a staff that already knows what I don't know. And then they can remember Crimson Tide, like, who's got the con? Like, I'll give somebody else the con. So I wake up really early thinking about things to talk about. And I've already hired somebody who's assigned to me. Hey, man, you tell me where I need to be, when I need to be there. And then you just need to prioritize your time. But the truth is, Dan, in the last couple of years, I've worked for Fox Sports Radio, and Fox Sports 1. Right? I did a streaming show for Stadium. I had an AAU program in Southern California called Branch West. That's our legacy program. And I also worked for Westwood One, for Compass Media. I mean, you name it, I've done it. So now I only have 2 jobs. I went from remember the Jamaicans on In Living Color? I got 6 jobs. I'm the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Like, now I only have 2 jobs. So
are there things you can't say on the air? Are there things that you can't?
Yeah, but there's the same things I can't say on the air anyway.
No, but you can't talk about, recruits. There's certain things you can't.
Are we going to, how many times in the history of a Fox Sports radio show has anyone talked about recruits for Green Bay?
No, recruits in general.
Do we talk about college basketball at that granular level?
Well, you might.
No, I don't. Because I like what we talk about what the most people want to listen about, right?
But like Cooper Flagg,
so today,
Cooper Flagg's the number one player. Cooper Flagg's the number one player going to Duke.
Awesome.
Would you have been able to talk about Cooper Flagg on your radio show before he committed to Duke, or going forward? Are you allowed to do? I mean, these are just thoughts that I had when you're going to try to do both. Do you even know what you're allowed to and not allowed to talk about on your show?
I'm not allowed to talk about recruitable student athletes that I want to recruit. Can't talk about. Okay. I can tell you right now, I'm not getting Cooper Flagg inside of Duke. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be amazing. Yeah. I can talk about Cooper Flagg all the time because you know what, Cooper Flagg? I mean, I'd love for him to come to Green Bay, but he ain't coming, Dan.
He's not. What kind of NIL budget do you have?
Good. Good. Needs to get better. But good. I mean, I am drinking my liquid death for a reason. And, we're going to try and use, I think it works great together. I think they're mutual promotional tools, right? Everyone at Fox Sports Radio has been awesome. And now we have the only national radio show host who's also a Division I men's head college basketball coach. I think that works. And then for Green Bay, it works as a promotional tool, even without mentioning. I don't have to talk ever about Green Bay. I can talk about the Packers all that I want. But I think you bring in some of our national sponsors. There's people that I have great relationships with nationally, people that want to be a part of this and what we're doing. And then, of course, going out in the community and anybody who Green Bay has touched at any point in time in their life, we want you to be around, but we also want to help raise money because no one's ever done it without players. And it doesn't mean you can just throw a bunch of money at kids and they're going to come and you're going to win. You don't want that. You want guys investing in being here for long term. But yeah, our NIL budget is good and it's going to get great. And we're going to go do all the right things it takes to raise the money and find the right players that will earn that money, not just be given that money.